6 women, 1 king, and a children's rhyme that every British kid memorizes. Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. It sounds almost like a nursery song, but it's hiding something much darker. Because here's the truth they don't teach you in school. Henry VIII didn't divorce most of them. He erased them. In the eyes of the law, he had only 3 real wives. The others, the church simply declared their marriages never happened at all. This is what really became of the 6 women who married the most dangerous man in England. It begins in 1509 with Catherine of Aragon, a Spanish princess, daughter of 2 monarchs, once married to Henry's own older brother, Arthur. When Arthur died young, Henry took her as his wife. For 20 years, she stood beside him. She even ruled England as regent while he marched off to war. But Catherine gave Henry only 1 surviving child, a daughter, Mary. Henry wanted a son. When Catherine could not deliver one, the Pope refused to end the marriage. So Henry tore England away from the Catholic Church entirely, founded his own Church of England, and declared the marriage null. Catherine refused to vanish quietly. She died alone in 1536, isolated in a cold castle, still insisting to her last breath that she was the true queen. Even before Catherine was dead, Henry had already set his sights on Anne Boleyn. Bold and brilliant, Anne refused to be just another mistress. She held out until Henry made her queen, and to do it, he changed the religion of an entire nation. She gave him a daughter, Elizabeth, who would one day become England's greatest ruler. But Anne, too, failed to produce a living son, and Henry's obsession turned to poison. Anne was suddenly accused of adultery, of treason, even of incest with her own brother, charges almost certainly invented. In May 1536, she was beheaded, not with a clumsy axe, but with a sword brought specially from France. And just 2 days before the blade fell, Henry had the marriage annulled, so he could erase her completely. Her own daughter, Elizabeth, was declared illegitimate. 11 days after Anne's execution, Henry married Jane Seymour, quiet, gentle, obedient, everything Anne had not been. Her motto was, bound to obey and serve, and Jane gave Henry the one thing he had torn his kingdom apart for, a son, Edward. But the triumph lasted barely a week. 12 days after the birth, Jane was dead from childbirth complications. Henry was genuinely shattered. He called her his true wife, and when his own time came, he ordered to be buried beside her. Wife number 4 was a disaster. Henry chose Anne of Cleves from a flattering portrait, but when she arrived in the flesh, he was repulsed, supposedly muttering, "I like her not." The marriage was annulled in just 6 months, yet Anne was the cleverest of them all. She didn't fight. She accepted and walked away with palaces, a fortune, and the honored title, the king's beloved sister. She outlived every other wife, and the king himself. Then comes the saddest story of all. Catherine Howard, barely more than a teenager, and Anne Boleyn's own young cousin. Lively and naive, she was thrust into the bed of a king, now old, obese, and rotting from an infected leg wound. When rumors of her past reached the rotting, furious king, there was no mercy left. In February 1542, just like her cousin before her, this teenage girl knelt at the block and was beheaded, destroyed by a court that fed on rumor. And finally, Catherine Parr, intelligent, careful, a true survivor. She nursed the dying king, raised his 3 children, and against all odds outlived him. But fate was cruel even to her. After Henry's death, she remarried, became pregnant, and died from childbirth in 1548. The one who survived did not survive for long. 6 women, 2 beheaded, 2 cast aside, 2 dead, giving Henry what he craved most. They weren't just a rhyme, they were queens caught in the most dangerous game in Europe. Which wife's story shocked you the most? Comment below, and if you want more dark Tudor history, hit subscribe and turn on notifications.